Carla lost an earring.
Oh yeah, new one.
Already. Maybe in the Uber, maybe back at the apartment, who knows. So here we are at Nido, which is a cute little cafe. Very, very good food. I just wanted to show this here because Mexico City is definitely a foodie town. And right now we're in the neighborhood of Roma, I think.
Roma Norte. Yeah.
Roma Norte, and there's really good restaurants, good cafes. So anyway, we are off to the museum, the art museum, and we will see you soon. And then there's Starbucks. So here we are in front of El Parque Chapultepec. This is a park in downtown Mexico City. It is twice the size of Central Park. Did you know that?
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the biggest city parks in the Western Hemisphere, and it's got a castle in there, which is what we're going to go see. Anything else in there? A zoo?
Yeah, there is a zoo. There is a couple museums. The Anthropological Museum in Mexico. It is there too. And also there is el Palacio de los Deportes,
Which is
where you go for concerts.
Oh, yeah, excellent. All right.
So we're standing here outside of the Castillo de Chapultepec. Mexican presidents had actually lived in 3 different places. The first one was Palacio Nacional. After Mexico independence in 1821, the first president, Vicente Guerrero, lived in Palacio Nacional that actually we visit in our first day in Centro Histórico of Mexico City. And it was until from 1882 until 1934 that the second set of presidents moved from Palacio Nacional to Castillo de Chapultepec. Actually, Porfirio Díaz lived in the Castillo de Chapultepec. And it was until Lázaro Cárdenas in 1934, so the last 14 presidents of Mexico had lived in Los Pinos, which is a residency that they built is outside of the Castillo de Chapultepec. And just to let you know, our last president, which by the way is not my president, but he decided not to live in Los Pinos and he went back to Palacio Nacional.
And why do you think that is?
Why do you think he had to come back here?
Well, he said that because he was not fifi, that means he is not from a high class in Mexico, so that's why he didn't live in Los Pinos, which is a residency, but Palacio Nacional is a palace.
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly.
Yeah, it's a palace. So that's the reason actually the old presidents moved to a smaller place.
Vázquez Carmona. Felicidades, maestro. Y su profesor Fernando Solís Franco. Felicidades, maestro.
134.
So our first impressions are fantastic. If anyone is able to come to Mexico City, first class museums, and we haven't even touched upon like 10. There's 10 more at least museums, but this is a really good one. Talks about the history, and again, we're in the Castillo.
It's just beautiful. It's just, and as I said before, our presidents used to live in the Castillo de Chapultepec. That happened between 1882 and 1934.
Yes, exactly.
So they had a really nice home.
Yes, they did.
With
yes.
their families.
Yes, almost like royalty. Very, very lovely.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so as you can see behind us, we have some very, very beautiful views of the gardens, which were created by Maximilian, who was a prince from Austria, from the Habsburg line. He lived here actually with his wife Carlota before the presidents lived here. Early 1860s, the president of Mexico decided not to pay back the foreign debt to France, And Napoleon III decided that he wasn't going to have any of that, so he sent Maximilian and his wife over here to become the Emperor and Empress of Mexico. So they made all this look very European and opulent, and then 3 years later, it wasn't a good day for Maximilian because then he got executed, and Carlota apparently was able to return back to Europe. So,
Very Frenchy.
yeah, very Frenchy. Architecture is very cool, and what you're supposed to do is take the elevator to the very top, and then you work yourself down on ramps, like you're walking in a circle all the way down. And like I say, it was a very, very impressive museum. So what other thoughts do you have? What are we gonna do now? I'm so tired I can't even talk English. I've been
you have been speaking Spanish the whole day.
Yeah, I know. I've been speaking Spanish, and we walked 6 miles at least today. 6 miles yesterday and 6 miles the day before. So it's been a very huge challenge for me to speak Spanish and walk and stay awake, and enjoy all this. But this is very, very impressive. So now we're going to take an Uber to
Orinoco.
Yes, a highly recommended taco place. Yes. And then we're going to go back to our Airbnb and relax and enjoy.
And eat tacos with wine.
We're gonna, yes. But she said yesterday, gee, I've never had tacos with wine. I said, well, I have to come to Mexico to introduce her to that. So we're gonna have our tacos with our vino and maybe go up to the terrace, and which is very beautiful up there, and we just relax for the rest of the evening. So see you later.
Bye.
Well, hello, good morning to everybody. This is our last day in Mexico City. Right behind us over here is the Blue House, and that is the Frida Kahlo Museum, and there is a line around the whole building down the block. We did not buy tickets ahead of time, and we just don't have time to wait in that line to hope that we do get tickets. So I'm sure it's lovely.
I mean, the whole area is very nice. It's like a really small town, just in the middle of the city. So, they do have some art from Frida and from Diego Rivera, but it's more than, it is very visited because, she lived here.
Yeah, and plus the movie came out, Frida, a few years ago.
Yeah.
And so it's very, very well visited, and we are going to make a plan B, but this is probably going to be it for our Mexico City trip. And we're going to go to Guadalajara tonight. We're going to fly back to Guadalajara, so this is going to wrap up our little Mexico trip, and so thank you very much for being the cool cat that you are and the good hostess. And yeah, we've had a really good time here in Mexico City. I highly recommend people checking it out. It's a very cool place of 22 million. A lot of very cute neighborhoods to go to, a lot of museums, a lot of restaurants. Like I said before, it's a huge foodie town, and the prices are very reasonable too. Okay, just kidding, we have more to show you. We are in the Palacio Postal, which is a very ornate and beautiful post office that's still working today. They built this in the early 1900s with a specific style of architecture, and the way that they styled that, we're not quite sure what it is, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's one of the must-sees when you come to Mexico City. And there's a huge earthquake in Mexico City, and a lot of damage was done, so they had to repair a lot of it. And on the side here is a museum that describes how during the Spanish Civil War, many Spaniards came over to live, and we don't know the exact number, but a huge amount of people came over from Spain. And so Carla was saying that a third of the people that she knows right now have Spanish citizenship because their grandparents came over during this time, or great-grandparents, probably grandparents from Spain.
And actually a good example of that is my nieces. one of my sisters married to Salvador Mesa, and his mom came during the Civil War to Mexico. So all of them have a
and she wanted to take a gap year because she graduated from college, right? And then she went over to Spain.
Oh yeah. That you're talking about the oldest one?
Yeah.
Of my nieces?
Yeah. So basically, she wanted to go check out Europe, and she was able to not have to worry about getting a visa because she had Spanish citizenship already.
And she was able to work all over the European Union.
Yep, European Union. Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. So anyway, very beautiful building, and the museum about that is very interesting. So if we don't have anything more to say, this is it. If we see something else that's cool, we'll let you know. All right, see you later.